I wanted to show you how we can see the alignment of the standards on the Pennsylvania Standards Aligned System website. If you haven't ever visited this website, you will after this week a lot, because this is the website that we use for our lesson planning if you're working with children from pre-K on. And I want to show you where we have that curriculum standard alignment. So I'm going to show you if we go into the website, which is pdesas.org, and there'll be a link on to get here. Click on the standards part of the flower, and that's going to take you into a menu of different ways to see the standards. I want you to choose vertical viewer. And when you go into the vertical viewer, you need to select two things. We always go up to this light bulb when you get to the standards. And when you click on the light bulb, it's going to give you two different drop-down menus. There's actually three, but we only focus on the first two. We're going to select a grade level, and I'm going to pick first grade. And then I'm going to choose a subject. And I'm going to choose math. Now, this is going to show us all of the areas in math that first graders are going to be learning. So they have numbers and operations they learn, algebraic concepts, geometry, measurement data, and probability. I'm going to choose let's choose geometry just to be different. So in first grade, which is right here, grade 1, in geometry, there are, oh my goodness, look at all those. There are 14 standards. Oh no, some of those are blank. I was going to say, that's an awful lot. Let's go back up here. All right, that's more like it. There's only 2 standards for geometry for first grade. The first one is right here, and the second one is here. We're going to focus on the second right here. So this is called an anchor. This is what identifies the standard within this website, and then for lesson planning, you'll need these anchors. The CC stands for Common Core. The 2 stands for mathematics, because that's our second subject area. When we look at the subject areas, just that's the way they organize the website. So Common Core 2, which is math, and then we're in standard 3, which was geometry. We're in first grade, and then we have A.2, and that's what this standard is called, A.2. So that's our anchor, and this is the standard. This is what we want boys and girls to do in first grade. We want them to use the understanding of fractions to partition shapes into halves and quarters. Now, this is what you'll teach when you teach fractions in first grade. But what's really neat with using the vertical viewer, which is what we selected in the standards menu, is you can go to the right and see what they learn in the next grade level for that exact same standard, and you can go to the left and see what they learned the year before. And we want these to make sense, to align with each other, so there's no holes. This also helps you in the classroom. If you're a first grade teacher, but you have a student that needs enrichment, you can see what the second grade skills are. And if you have a student that needs remediation, you can see what they were doing and maybe didn't quite master the year before. So we wanted to do halves and quarters, and they have to be able to partition shapes. In second grade, they're going to extend that into thirds. Now, if we go backwards to kindergarten, instead of working with fractions at all, they're going to analyze, compare, create, and compose 2- and 3-dimensional shapes. So we're just going to have them comparing, maybe drawing. They probably won't draw some 3-dimensional shapes, but drawing 2-dimensional shapes. And they have to be able to draw those 2-dimensional shapes before they can cut them in halves and quarters. I'm going to show you that if you use this green button, you can go down one level lower. The lowest level on our state standards is pre-K, and that's why if you are working with infants and toddlers or those pre-K students, there's also the supplements that you just browsed through to see the standards. Our website does not include those standards. But you can see pre-K students are going to analyze, compare, create, and compose shapes. So we don't do 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes in pre-K. We just do 2-dimensional shapes. Then it grows to 3-dimensional. Then it grows to fractions. Then it grows to fractions with thirds. And you can see we could continue going this way and see third grade. There's our third grade standard. and then we can keep going. You could go as far as 12th grade. Okay. Now, not every standard will have something in every box. If you go down further, you can see here in geometry, we have standard 8.3, 8.4, all the way down again to 8.14 that are blank. And so there's nothing they're learning in that area. But if we keep viewing, let's see when they get that first one. So in 4th grade, they're going to get an 8.3. And they're 8.4. Oh, they have to really go out for a while. Looks like 0.4. We're still not there. Wow. Well, I'm not going to keep going, but you can see that not every grade level has a standard all the time. But this is called the vertical viewer. And so anytime you want to see what goes on below the grade you're teaching or above the grade you're teaching, you can use the vertical viewer on the PA state standard website. And again, as long as you know this anchor right here, this code, and the standard, you can find that on the vertical viewer. Okay, we'll come back to this website again and see how it works in some other ways.